my name is Alyssa Watney, and I teach French horn and beginning trumpet at REW Music. Something that I think is really important in my lessons is allowing students to take ownership of their own work. So one of the ways that I do this is by asking them a series of questions whenever they are done playing an excerpt or a piece or a few measures. I always start with, what is one thing that you did really well? And I don't allow them to just say, I played the notes right, because we're not trying to be musicians that just play the notes right. And then I also ask them, what is one thing you could improve upon? And I really want them to give me the whys, like why did you do it well and why do you feel like you need to improve upon this thing? I feel like it's very important as they go into their practicing and into their own lives that they aren't just relying on someone to just tell them what they need to know. So I find this to be a really helpful way to get them to really start thinking about what they're doing and applying that in their lessons and in their practicing and just in their life as well. A breakthrough that I've had with a student recently has been one student who was newer and they were learning the French horn, which is a really difficult instrument to just start on. And if you know anything about the French horn, it has a very large range, and some people tend to be more naturally in the upper register and some more naturally in the lower register. This student could play like crazy in the lower register, like really low stuff that took me a long time to work on. But we just couldn't even really get up into the staff for a long time. And that made it really hard to work on beginning band music because nothing is written way down there for beginning band. But after a lot of work and a lot of singing and listening and just moving up one note at a time, we finally got to a place where they're playing really confidently in the staff. And now I think they're actually maybe more advanced in some ways than other students their age because they can play a significantly larger range than other people in their age group. So I think that's been a really cool learning process of sometimes when things are hard, it ultimately makes us better in the long run, even if it's not like the traditional way of going about things. So some difficult things that we need to watch out for in this year's All-State Music is one of them is a key signature. So we've got a B flat, an E flat, and an A flat in the key signature, which for horns, that A flat triggered 2-3 is kind of a cumbersome transition. And so we need to be really aware as we're going through that we're playing it correctly, A, but also that we can find alternate fingerings to help us get through some of those awkward moments where maybe it doesn't work as well. So I actually found a couple in there as well where I could just hold down trigger 1, 2 and just play up a few notes, and that helped me get it a lot quicker and get it up to speed. And you're going so fast, like it's maybe just this much out of tune, but you can't really tell at that speed. So I would say that's definitely something to look for in this year's state music, just finding ways to make it a little less cumbersome on the fingers. Another thing to watch out for is right at the very end, it's like the third section of the audition music. There's like a really fast portion where you're playing a whole bunch of triplets and you have to go really quick, and the tonguing pattern is a little bit difficult, and you have to go all the way up to a high C, which is the top of the range for horn. So my suggestion there is to let your air really propel you forward, to just tank up at the beginning, like lock everything in, focus, and I like to think of my air as like spinning out and propelling each note forward, and that really helps me get that to the correct speed and playing it accurately.